Hey, Cardinal family. I think last time I posted, I talked about the different kinds of walkthroughs that I perform when I find myself in your classroom. And those were the Tuesday walks we do with the executive cabinet, the side by sides I do with principals and assistant principals, and then the tech integration walkthroughs that Dr. Franz and I do perform. I want to talk a little bit more about this tech integration walkthroughs and provide some clarification that really just recently I've had, and I hope it helps you out. So, if you remember a while ago, I think last September, I had a post in our CPSCA FYI blog that had to do with a gentleman by the name of Dylan William, who really influenced me when it comes to understanding how to use technology in the classroom. And the lessons learned from Dylan William are what drives the purpose of the tech integration walkthroughs that Dr. Franz and I perform. And those three things that we always land on are: number one, what's the learning target? Number two, what activities are the students engaging in that move them towards the learning target? And then number three, how can technology enhance that? And I really like that because it keeps technology from getting in the way. If we focus on just using the technology first, that can trip us up. In the text along with this, I copy and pasted a little part of that blog that I previously wrote, so you can review that as well. But I wanted to unpack that phrase enhance a little bit more, because there's lots of different enhancements when it comes to our instruction. And I really land on three broad categories of how technology can enhance what we do when it comes to our instruction in our daily business and interacting with students. So the three that I land on would be efficiency, effectiveness, and transformation. And here's what I mean by those three. First one, efficiency. Sometimes how technology serves us is just to make our lives easier, that it doesn't truly impact how my instruction happens. It just frees up capacity that I have so I can be better at the other parts of my job. My example for this, when I was student teaching way back in 1997, my cooperating teacher, Dan Mahalik, was a little bit ahead of the curve when it came to technology and pushed me in that direction. And I remember early on, he said, "You're not going to use a written grade book. Don't do that. If you want a paper grade book, you're going to print out these copies from this program that we're going to use." And he had a digital grade book, a program that he had found that nobody else in our building at Horizon Middle School was using. And he said, "No one is using this, but eventually they're all going to have to in some capacity. You should learn it now." So using that digital grade book and him just drawing a line and saying, "You are not going to do this by hand. You're going to use a computer to do this," saved up a bunch of capacity, freed up a bunch of capacity for me, so that I wasn't spending time looking at little boxes, filling them in with a pencil or a pen, and doing those calculations by hand, so that I could be better at other aspects of my job, whether that was planning my lesson or engaging with my students. So sometimes technology just makes us more efficient. Digital gradebook helped me be more efficient in my instruction. The second one is effective. Effective just means it makes you better at teaching. An example I would see of that is a digital whiteboard. Now, a digital whiteboard doesn't change the information we convey or the lessons that we're trying to teach. I resisted having a digital whiteboard as a teacher for a long time. I used to say, this just makes what I do with an expo marker look more flashy. And it's so much more than that. Yes, it's the same information, it's the same lessons, but it allows me to do so at a pace in a manner that's more dynamic and provides more opportunities for students to engage with that information than I can make happen with a whiteboard, with a regular whiteboard in an expo. So it was the same instructional strategies, but it enhanced those in a way that made it better. So it's not just more efficient, it's more effective. Now, the third one is transformational. Transformational means that whatever I'm doing in my classroom with the technology, I would be unable to do without the use of that technology. Transformative is difficult. By definition, it fits in with innovating in our Marzano model. Not everything we do with instruction can be transformative when it comes to the technology, and I don't expect everything to be transformative. But here's what I want us to recognize. Boy, we got pushed into transformative use of technology in our instruction through a pandemic. We use technology to connect with students that we would not have been able to connect with through the pandemic because we were forced into it. So again, I don't expect everything to be transformative in instruction because of technology. but those opportunities are out there and we're probably better at it than we have ever been before. I think the lines on those also can be kind of blurry sometimes, especially between efficient and effective. I think sometimes the use of an interactive whiteboard, you could say, yeah, that makes me more effective, or is it just a more efficient way of getting through this information? And that's okay that they're a little blurry. What I really want you to do is, as you think about how you use technology in your instruction, just reflect on those three categories and think: is this more efficient? Is it more effective? Is it transformative? I think that helps you understand your relationship with technology a little bit better, and then that way you just get better at what you're already doing well. All right, Cardinal family, hang in there. It won't be long, and we're going to have another full PD day on November 8th. If you're one of our crew, headed out to the Fall Ed Tech Conference. Look forward to seeing you out there on Monday. Other than that, have a great weekend.